simulate the bow of a ship, and its sail looks like both sails used on said ships and the sails attached to the stern used in windsurfing. I absolutely have to have some form of surfing Pokemon in this region, with the region being surrounded by water and Australia being a premier location for surfing. But like, Bandite surfing? Really? Nah. I wanted something better and more control. So we have Sailunch, the high-speed, high-flying fish Pokemon to fill that role. Sailunch are used around Ensum for both travel and sport. They are faster than a Sharpedo, yet easier to control with their while in motion. Just attach a big old mount to a dorsal fin and you are ready to go. I should mention these guys are big enough to fit a trainer or two on their back with ease. Last but certainly not least, we have the Pika Clone, which has been since Gen 3, and debatably Gen 2, but that's an argument for another day. Anyway, our conclusive answer is Bilbolt, the Bilby Pokemon, a pure electric type. Then I worked with Amherst to stray to create. Its category kind of gives it away, but it's based on the Bilby, a long-snouted, big-eared marsupial that is yet another endangered one, with the greater Bilby being the only remaining living species. Bilbolts would also be fairly uncommon throughout the region, found in a few select areas scattered across Ensum. And if you're thinking, Bilbolt sure looks like a rabbit, that was on purpose, as it is also nicknamed the rabbit-eared bandicoot, as the two animals are related, coming from the same order. Which leads me perfectly into Bilbolt's evolution. Brandicoot, the bandicoot Pokemon, an electric fire type. So remember how I said Bilbies are endangered and look like rabbits? Well, in an attempt to raise awareness of its endangered status, Australia has the Easter Bilby instead of the Easter Bunny, so Brandicoot acts as a reference to them, with its body having Easter egg patterns as well as being generally in action, and containing those long Bilby ears, which now have little fires inside them. Its ear typing comes from the heat generated by the ears of the Bilby, and the fact that much of the plant diet of the Bilby is facilitated by fires that occasionally run through Australia, and provide the regrowth of the plants that the Bilby prefers. And if you're thinking, Brandicoot looks like and is conceptually similar to Azumarill, that was also on purpose. Many think of Marill as a Pika clone, which it isn't, because it neither has the cheek pouches nor the electric type, which applies to Mimikyu as well. So this Pokemon acts as an official Pika clone with those Marill and Azumarill attributes. I would also give it huge power as an ability to further the reference. Being a physically bulky Pokemon, two of the more special types I felt would be fun, and give a Pika clone some viability in battle. And those are some Australia-inspired Pokemon. Thanks so much to our incredible members whose names you can see on screen for supporting this channel with their hard-earned money, which you can also do by hitting that join button. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. A trio of mighty elemental bird introduced in the first generation of Pokemon, and later given regional birds in Generation 8. With 6 type combos filled by these birds, what might a legendary bird of every type look like? Hey everyone, Brandon here. In August, I held a contest to celebrate us reaching 300,000 subscribers here on the channel, in which you guys could submit your ideas for a legendary bird of every type, and Fungusmon and I would take those winning entries and refine them into consistent designs for this video. That I would then give to the winners to do with what they please. And boy did you guys deliver. We had upwards of 600 plus entries to this contest, which didn't... The Pokemon Day Legend CA trailer left us with a lot of questions, like, what's up with these Quizark? What if there were Australia-based regional forms and evolutions for Pokemon? Well, today, let's answer that question from my Australia-based region, Ensum. Hey everyone, Brandon here. Let's get started with a Pokemon I feel most people expect to be in this region, and that is none other than Komala. Komala Harris. We debated on whether to make a brand new Pokemon for Ensum, or to give this guy a regional form, so I decided to do both by giving Komala an evolution. Not just any old evolution, this one's special. You'll see what I mean after Komala levels up to 38 while knowing the new move, Dreama, where it evolves into Quality Pleasant Dream Form, a normal Psychic type, or Quality Waking Nightmare Form, a normal Dark type, both of which I worked with Deep's Fake One to create. They are both categorized as the Duality Pokemon, which is where their name comes from, while also being a part of the qualities they exhibit upon evolution. What form you get depends on Komala's nature, or peaceful sounding nature such as the Pikachu Pleasant Dream Form. And it would be my Waking Nightmare if you didn't hit that like and subscribe button below, so give me pleasant dreams by doing that now. The new move Dream Up does different things depending on which form it takes. For Komala, it's just a base 80 normal type physical attacking move, but when used by Pleasant Dream Form, the effect of a 50% chance of making the Pokemon drop. And when used by Waking Nightmare Form, adds the effect of a 50% chance to make the Pokemon flinch. So let's talk inspirations behind these guys. Pleasant Dream Form is inspired by northern gray koalas, which are a bit smaller than their relatives, the southern brown koalas that Waking Nightmare Form is based on. Nightmare is additionally inspired by the Australian oaks known as drop bears. The tall-tailed Australians tell tourists to break them, that koalas will drop from their trees and attack them from above, so they need to make sure they check the trees for drop bears as they travel around the country. Lots of these two forms have vastly different inspirations. Dream clock taking the shape of not only a grown eucalyptus tree, but also a didgeridoo, a musical instrument collected in Aboriginal people of Australia that makes a long, droning sound, which I thought, in a way, could be equated to a song. So Dreamform could snore into its log to use Dream On, making it music that enchants the target to sleep. On the other hand, we have Nightmare's weapon, which is a hammer. Where it drops the hammer on the heads of its opponents with the flinch. Not only is it a hammer, but it also acts as a musical instrument, where the handle comes out of the hammerhead to make a drum and stick that it plays loudly, because if it can't find peaceful support, no one can. Some small design details that Dean's added that I love is that Drum's poof on its head when combined with its eyes makes 3 C's, which is a very famous symbol associated with sleep, and that one of Nightmare's eyes is a backward C. Like, this is an inverse of what a Kamala evolution should be, and it's winking, because it can't even get a wink of sleep. Speaking of musical instruments, make sure to check out Joe Clough, who did the music for this region, and also did the soundtrack for the Devar region. They are immensely talented and definitely deserve your sub, so make sure to click their link in the card and the description. So from the expected, we go to the totally unexpected. Let's talk about a Pokemon I have advocated for and feel deserves more love, Bruxish. And I think I found the perfect way to do it in Ensign. So in the past, I had the idea for a Bruxish evolution based on a goblin shark. These incredibly nosy and toothy deep-sea fish, which can be found off the southern coast of Australia, felt like the perfect step up from the ugly appearance of Bruxish. And I say ugly as a compliment. Bruxish is supposed to be hard to look at. The genius of the design. Psychedelic dazzling camouflage. Bruxish just happened to be that so that people just actually don't like looking at it and ended up hating the Pokemon. But not me. People's favorite Pokemon can be Virgo, and let me have Bruxish, okay? Anyway, a good way to fit this evolution in the region would be to use the original artwork. Bruxish are also to looking at together fits super well for the psychic type. But then the whole thing really came together when I discovered Victoria's fins, a small group of extinct jawless fish with tremendous nose-like beaks that look just like the strange noses of the goblin sharks. The reason they are called Victoria spina, which translates to hallucinogenic shield, is because their discoverer, Dr. Gavin Young, suspected he might be hallucinating when examining multiple specimens, which is just such a hilarious story. Like, imagine discovering something so creepy that you think you must be tripping. So our weirdly shaped aboriginal psychedelic drug shark manifests in Bruxish evolution, Artichoke, the odd-nosed Pokemon, a water psychic type that I worked with Trainer Rex to create. It evolves from Bruxish after defeating 10 Marini in the Kalenia Coral Reef to the northeast of Ensom. This acts as a reference to yet another fish, the type triggerfish, which are the natural predators of the greniform starfish that Marini effects are based on. Also referring to how Bruxish is based on the reef triggerfish, being a different kind of triggerfish that evolves while in an enormous reef. Bruxish already has references to preying upon Marini in its Ultramoon accent tree, so I felt it fitting that it would prey upon them to evolve, and its evolution would prey upon the entire line. And like, of course it makes sense that a psychic-type triggerfish would prey upon the next starfish with its psychic fangs, and prey upon that join button to become a member. Membership to this channel not only helps me support the artists I work with and keep the channel afloat, but also gives you incredible benefits. Members truly are the backbone of this channel, so hit that join button now. The reduced population of Marini and types of illustrated has led to the decline of their prey, so much so that in combination with the presence of the Kalenia Coral, personally have unlocked a new evolution that previously seen in other regions. So level instead. So getting Pokemon wouldn't need energy from the sun as it is the sun. And that's right now. And it's based on the sun. Why is it fire type? That's where its ability comes in. Sun-Kissed, which is essentially like a fire type version of Steelworm, ostensibly giving this Pokemon a third stab type. It also refers to the fact that researchers in Melbourne, Australia have developed a kind of sun shield made to protect the Great Area Reef from sun bleaching. And with Sun-Kissed, of course that would mean this line would need access to more fire type moves, so for Solar we'll learn a couple like Flamethrower and Flamethrower, as well as a bunch from TMs or TRs. Okay, so I promise this video isn't clickbait. I will actually talk about some regional forms now. So first up, we have Insomnia Dodrio, a fighting flying type that I also worked with rocks on. Insomnia Dodrio is more visibly based on the cassowary, a flightless bird and relative to the ostrich and emu that can be found in the northeast of Australia. They are known to be very wary of humans and can inflict serious, even fatal injuries if provoked, thus gaining a reputation as the most dangerous bird in the world. So the fighting type felt like an obvious choice, either that or the dark type. But the fighting type in combo with Dodrio's crest brings in another reference, with Doduo and Dodrio also originally being inspired by emus, and with Insomnia and Dodrio's crest being like little grass hats, which is Australian military leaders. This all acts as a reference to the Great Emu War, a military operation by the Royal Australian Artillery attempting to curb the population of emus in Australia due to them destroying an alarming amount of growth from the area. The reason I say attempting is because the operation was actually unsuccessful, meaning the emus won. Insomnia and Dodrio have managed to get all three of their heads in line and in sync. Fiercely united, they are an intimidating So that was kind of happy, so why don't we move on to a more lighthearted regional form? Something to make us all happy, and I know something we all scream for. Ice cream! Well, except the people who are allergic to cold. Sorry guys. Anyway, allow me to present Insomnia Vanillish, the sandy snow Pokemon, an ice ground type that I worked with the fantastic Art to create. Australian viewers should automatically recognize this form, as it is clearly, clearly, based on the iconic ice cream bar, Golden Gay Time. There, I beat y'all to the joke. Honestly, we love Golden Gay Time because they've doubled down on the queer representation and vehemently refused to change their name about it, even though they are originally named after gay as in happy. Uninformed, Golden Gay Time is vanilla ice cream with vanilla biscuit-like crumbs. So I felt the ground type would be fitting, making the crumbs into bits of sand or loose sediment, and the topping being clay. I could have easily turned the crumbs into rocks too, but the last thing I want to do is another reason to hate on this line by giving it the ice rock type. Ugh, the quad business. But at level 47, Vanillish evolves into...
You're watching a toothbrush blatantly Eilish. But did you know that there's a YouTube music app where you can also listen to the EDM version, ska version, and of course, the original version?
Another reason to hate on this line by giving it the ice rock type. Ugh, the quad weaknesses. But at level 47, Vanillish evolves into Carmelit, the sandstorm is like a golden gates. Classes mixed with water. They called it Carmelish because it fit the cadence. Carmelish now have a couple extra features. Spaces are based on Anzac biscuits, a popular sweet biscuit in Australia that has golden syrup as an ingredient, so mixing them with the biscuits of Golden Gate Time felt very fitting. Turning them into a supreme ice cream bar, or more like a sundae bar at this point. This original form also just felt right given the line's original designer, James Turner, is British, which ties in well to Australia's history with the UK. Let's keep on this dessert train with an ice type with yet another Unova. So allow me to introduce Insomnian Trouble, the Pavlova Pokemon, a ice type that with the incredible Poketrainer BB. Its category and shell really give it away, but this form is based on the famous Australian dessert, Pavlova. It is storm cold and is heavily associated with Christmas time in Australia, even though their winter is a lot more like the summer of the Northern Hemisphere. But the association still stands. Insomnian Trouble will collect berries that it stores on its crusty bed, creating a fancy shell around them. The berries eventually biodegrade, but the shell still remain, making for these decorative berry sculptures. These are based on raspberries, or as they were known in Gen 2, ice berries, which yield worms, and strawberries are a mainstay in most Pavlovas. At level 34, Insomnian Trouble evolves into Insomnian Crustal, a trifle Pokemon. Once again, this has a category that tells on itself being a trifle-based Pokemon. Trifles are also associated with Christmas time, so the green-like snow around Crustal's mouth is a reference to Santa Claus's beard. This line's red coloration focuses on the Christmas island red crab. Each year, millions of these crabs migrate across the island to its shores, which like Santa migrates across the world to deliver presents. I almost wanted to call this thing Crustal, but that felt like too much of a stretch, and it is not only based on a trifle. It is also based on another Australian sweet treat known as Clamingtons. They are sponge or butter cakes coated in chocolate and coconut, acting like the crust of the dish. The coconut I thought would work wonderfully as snow or frost, while the chocolate looks like dirt, working as a reference to this line's original typing. So this dude is a hodgepodge of Australian dessert references, and honestly, the Lamington trifle sounds extremely delicious. So we have yet another design from Gen 5 that people hate on with Trubbish here. I made an evolution for this guy a long time ago that I wanted to bring into Ensum. So at level 36, while in Ensum, Trubbish evolves into did try this. The Trash Pokemon, a voice recording type that I worked with Congress on. This Pokemon was found in our collab with Bernie X for the objectified Pokemon armor environment. The whole concept behind this Pokemon is that the Australian white ibis was the nickname on many Pokemon in Australia, as they were another form of trash animals that are seagulls. Also, we haven't had a new type since we tried labor, and I think that's just a shame. So what do you think of these fresh methods and evolutions? Make sure to let me know which one was your favorite. And a huge thank you to our amazing members whose names you can see for supporting this channel with their hard-earned money, which you can also do by hitting that top button. So very much for watching, and I will see you next time. I'm a 3D artist, and for the past 3 months, I've been secretly developing a Minecraft mod with 15,000 lines of code worth of custom weapons, bosses, dimensions, and even got 4 legendary mod developers and YouTubers to judge my work from 1 to 10. My viewers have been asking me to do this for 3 years straight, and I'm gonna make
just so I could terrorize my YouTuber friends by making them play it. See, recently I played my fair share of horror games, but one genre in particular hooked me: ghost hunting games. The thrill of investigating abandoned locations, discovering their secrets, and not knowing what's after you always has me on edge. And as such, with more and more I played, I quickly came to realize I could create such an experience in Minecraft with a very simple plan. First, make a mod for it with lots of spooky things, and third, we scale it. I thought I was also gonna make a video on it. So thanks to OperaGX for sponsoring this video. Now, OperaGX sponsored me in the past. I wasn't asked to tell you this, but I've actually been using it ever since. They recently built what they call their Minecraft Studio to showcase what the browser can do, with each room representing features interactively, so I'll show you my 2 favorites. The first thing that I love is all this GX RAM and CPU power you want the browser to use, which is extremely useful when you need your browser open on the side, but alright to slow down games. Personally, since I use OperaGX to listen to music when I edit mods, it's a must-have for me. The second feature I tend to use a bit too much is some dark, which makes every page browsing as much as possible. Now, like I said, I also use Xplayer to listen to podcasts. The fact that you can log into and access Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music from the side is super great. But the real game changer is I go to my analysis with 100 logic, then it resumes its installment. And finally, as some regular files and cache, GXLine is a welcome wall plus that allows you to remove junk files, cookies, and boost your browser's performance in real life. So if any of these features tickle your fancy and you want to support the channel, feel free to try out OperaGX for free by clicking my link in the description. Anyway, this map is nice, but we should get back to our roadmap. We've got people to scale. The first part of the plan, aka building a map, was paramount to the whole project, as this would be what the players, which from now on I will call ghost hunters, if you're making a ghost hunting game, really explore and interact with. Some good candidates were abandoned houses, mansions, cemeteries, and castles, but I ended up settling on asylum, which is a choice given this project gradually drove me crazy. Once the setting was determined, I set up a server, invited my builder friends, and we started experimenting with a block palette to use as drafts, corridors, and room ideas. We also had to come up with a size inspiration. Therefore, I picked up my favorite ghost hunting game, Phasmophobia, and explored the asylum map to gather some screenshots. But actually, after all the hard work, it's impossible to stay on track. I'm gradually losing my grip on reality. It's like causing mischief.
You're still flicking it.
No, I'm not. It's flicking itself.
I get hit. What are you doing? Are you flicking crazy?
No.
It just got rid of
Actually, got me really good. Building a lobby, cafeteria, kitchen, comedy elements, which are quickly getting features of the world that I could to start with. But the first problem I encountered was Minecraft's natural brightness. Even on its lowest setting, you can faintly distinguish the environment. So I fixed that by making the game completely pitch black in the dark, no matter the player's brightness setting. But right now, you play and so your classic video game best friend. First one, the build of this flashlight is with a custom renderer library called Canvas, allowing me to easily make it good looking with shaders. However, this method also had 2 cons. 1, shaders render a person creating the immersion, and 2, other players can't exactly see the immersion being on you. And to that, the resolution falls first person perspective, make one ghost hunter at a time, which actually makes the whole experience even scarier, so you can't even blame me for being lazy here. And on top of that, using Canvas for the flashlight not only allows me to make it look very immersive, but it also makes me able to customize its appearance exactly how I want. What? Look at this! That's so funky! That's a bit too weak, but it works. We can try and make it extremely strong, which goes to the other end of the hallway. Oh my god! Yes! Which ultimately, after messing around, gave me 2 ideas. Making the flashlight flicker near the ghost to decrease visibility, experience, and the way sprinting works as they are not really that fit for our solution from them all. Now we have a way of differentiating pre, mode, and survival mode. Although I still wanted players to be able to sprint, so I coded my own system based on stamina, which right, I tweaked the balance a bit and made walking a bit faster, and the sprinting now actually is reasonable. My next step was adding equipment that allows the players to detect the ghost currency, project me, and monitor in the truck.
Great, I'll take the first truck shift. Wait, you're not coming in with me? Oh my god, my skin is darker than yours. I'm gonna die first.
Yo! It's so nice! Please, don't touch my taillights, alright? I'm gonna... Stop! No, don't take the other one! Please! No! You have two glowing balls. Let's get in the reception area, and I'm gonna...
This looks like where Grandpa used to live.
Is your equipment in the chest? Go ahead.
Oh, it's phasmophobia! It's totally phasmophobia!
You got a flashlight that you can use to light things around, and you can also click it to make it annoying, yes?
I'm sorry, this actually is so cool.
I'm also supplying an EMF reader that will allow you to detect any paranormal occurrences. Now you also have a photo camera, so in case the ghost manifests itself, you can snap a picture of it. Stop! Why is everyone taking pictures of me? And finally, you have a jury recorder sounds that you should be hearing when investigating, like ghostly moans or children. One question. Where's my phone? Now, I don't know if whatever's down there is aggressive. It is usually aggressive. In case it is, you can hide in lockers that are open and under beds that have sheets. Alright, that's everything you need to know. So you should go down and start investigating. Good luck, you got it.
Oh yeah, I'm a big fan of
Alright, don't just chill out.
I've never played a horror game before. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. I hate every bit of this. You know what? It's fine. Completely fine. Wow, you really need a flashlight. Wow, it is real dark in here.
So you're in the center area, like I said, the wings are barricaded. You're gonna have to find something in order to break through, something like a fire axe. We didn't think of packing one. I'm kind of dumb, I forgot about
Yeah,
that.
so silly of you. You are a dumbass. I'm good at finding things to smash other things with. I think I need a fix. Right, you told me we would be doing fun thing. I feel like critical need-to-know information has not reached me. I don't trust that wheelchair in the middle of the corridor. That seems wrong. Let's go to regain the ability to walk. I noticed that a locker is barricaded. A conveniently funny-sized locker that I should be able to hide in is barricaded.
Like, essentially, I could just change my shirt.
Are you okay?
No.
Well, I'm gonna need you to stay on track.
Oh, that's totally normal.
There's a bunch of candles on the ground!
Yeah. Lunches are served.
Oh, do we have a satanic summoning circle? That's not very pleasant. Closing the door behind me. In case that's open, but I will scream and you will know what's happened. Oh. Yep. I got a little fire axe. Hey God, can I kill the ghost with this fire axe? What if there was no ghost and you were pranking me? It's a photography table. I can make a map of the world. Do you have the chance? No. You don't have to ruin everything.
We got some water damage here. That's gonna lower the real estate value.
Yo, audio recorder, record this. Still, it's barricaded. This would have been enough.
I'm getting actual shivers down my spine. I don't like this.
Right now.
You can't play with my like this.
Intense, you know.
That's a room we don't enter.
Nothing's out of the ordinary yet. Never mind.
That is not the
I'm not going to do anything to your asylum, except break all the barricades down and steal all your papers. I'm getting out of there. I'm getting out of there.
Oh!
Great!
Grab.
I know.
Yeah,
What the no sound?
That's water sensitive.
I don't.
Can I flush the toilet?
I did
It's gone both.
Okay,
it's lagging my game here. What is going on?
So we don't pick him for Red Bull.
Every horror movie has boomers.
Oh, I finally run! I can't believe finally. You can run for 4 seconds.
I don't know you have asthma.
I do have asthma.
Well, I'm sorry.
That's my version right there. Friends, it's fine. The next time I'm talking to Scooby-Doo, I will not tell you to join the... Why did the door close?
I opened that door. I opened it.
Alright, listen up, you little door punk. Okay, I'm gonna need you to turn the power on in order to make this investigation a whole lot easier.
There's other things I need to turn on as well. Grandpa.
Stay. What the heck? There should be a breaker somewhere in the right wing. There's a dark room in my house somewhere I can't see. Maybe it's in there.
There's just so many rooms. You need to be a little more specific. People go in this room. There we go. Let me like.
All this wiring is not.
Where's the light switch? No, my signs, I swear to God.
Plus a few floors up in the big this whole place is dodgy. So I'm flickering my hair. I don't think you understand how actually scared I am with scary games. Let's go. I don't think I'm taking any job opportunity. Arsenal Scooby.